Takes and Talks presents Quizzing Through Life. Life is all about questions and answers. A Facebook live question and answer session with nationally acclaimed quiz master Rajib Sanyal. Yes, have your questions ready for Kolkata's numero uno quizzing icon, Rajib Sanyal at Takes and Talks.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of your very own show, Takes and Talks, presented to you by Cinema for a Cause. Now, a few words about our today's guest before I literally welcome him. So, his life revolves around 5 W's and 1 H. It is through these what, who, where, when, why, and how that he celebrates his life. He fulfills his ultimate passion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the none other than the nationally acclaimed quiz icon, Mr. Rajib Sanyal. Mr. Sanyal, welcome to our show. Then I would like to welcome the very backbone of our Cinema for a Cause, Mr. Abhishek Ganguli, who is a creative explorer and an independent filmmaker. He's also the ideator and moderator of Takes and Talks. Mr. Ganguli, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Sharmishtha. That was a wonderful introduction to our esteemed guest tonight. Rajib,
And as viewers too, you too can participate in the show by sending your reactions, your comments. You can also send your questions or queries to our eminent guest, Mr. Sanyal, which would be answered towards the end of the show. Now, over to you, Mr. Ganguli.
Thank you, Sharmishtha. And another welcome from Takes and Talks, Cinema for a Cause, to our very old friend and esteemed guest, Rajib Sanyal. He's Rajib to us, so I will refer to him as Rajib. Now, Rajib, you are now nationally famed quiz master. You are Kolkata's pride, Kolkatar Gorbo jetake bole. But I have been, a part of many of your quizzes. I have seen the energy, the euphoria which you create. I have been a part of the audience at times. We have shared stage. You have your own inimitable way of beginning each show. You have a mantra with which you get possessed and you hypnotize the audience. So can we hear maybe 2 lines from that mantra, and let's begin this show in the typical Rajib Sanyal style.
Well, Brahma Samhita said, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govindam Sarvakarana Karanam. For some he is Allah, for some he is Christ, and for some he is Mother Nature, but he is one. And for all of us, we belong to a religion of quizzing. Quizzing binds us together. The love story with quizzing continues. And I hope you're watching on Facebook Live. Thank you, Mr. Ganguli, my old good friend. And Cinema for a Cause, it's my privilege to come and share my experience. The only thing is, I'm not an eminent quiz master. I'm nobody basically. I love quizzing, and quizzing has given me a lot of opportunity to come and interact with this wonderful people nationally. So I'm really humbled. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
That was wonderful, Rajib, the way you started. I really felt Indianness all around. Rajib is very contemporary when he, has his audiovisuals, the way he appears on the stage. But what I like in Rajib is his Indianness. The Indianness really speaks about the values, the deep-rooted ethics which all Indians or the India really speaks to. And he's like a brand ambassador of Indianness to the world. Now, I would like to ask Rajib, he has obviously traversed quite a long path in quizzing, and he's so well known, recognized all over India, obviously in Kolkata. Even he's gone to Thailand to do a food travelogue with food quizzing. Rajib, tell us, how did your journey start off? How did the fire start burning?
See, when I was a student of class 6, I remember I came back. I came from Shiliguri. My father got transferred here. I studied in Don Bosco, Shiliguri, but here I came and got myself admitted in Aryadaho. It's a Dokhineshwar Uccho Vidyalaya. Amra Boli Bangla school, in a school where very normal students from very backward backdrop used to come. So one of my teachers, but I had a very I had to love public speaking. So initially I was a debater, and at class 6 my sir took me to a national level debate competition. Although I spoke for 2 minutes and I forgot everything, then I said, I'm sorry, I cannot, I've forgotten. But they gave me a consolation prize. And from there on, I used to watch Siddharth Basu. He was my icon. I saw the way he spoke, his English, his intonation, the way he captivated the audience. And I also watched BBC and other channels, and I thought, why don't I go up on stage and, connect with people? So I became a debater. Then I don't know if publicly it's okay or not. So everybody of my age, I got into a bit of politics. So I loved speaking, this public speaking. Then, 1988, after I did my higher secondary, so there was a class, there was a Resurrect Club. So for the first time in 1989, me, Rajuda, that is Asad Siddiqui and Arsad Siddiqui, we conducted our first quiz. That was long back in 1988. And then the love story with quizzing, with knowledge, and the love, the passion that continued, and even today it's continuing.
Fantastic, Rajiv. I'm getting inspired. Even at this old age, I want to become a quizzer. So from stage to stage to stage, from the stage of debating to political stages where you were maybe talking about your manifesto, to the quiz stage, you have really traversed a long journey. Now tell us, Rajiv, as you said, you have come from a very humble and a Bengali medium background, but today we see your English and we are so inspired seeing impeccable English coming out of you and Rajib Sanyal brand. Tell us, how does quizzing help to shape up our personality? আমাদের ব্যক্তিত্বের বিকাশে কুইজের কি বিরাট ভূমিকা?
Incredible. Because there are two things. First of all, you started with the Indianness. I can tell you one thing. In 1893, that great cyclonic monk and said, Srinantu Bishya Amritasya Putraha Yadhamani Divyani Tastu Vedhametang Purushang Mahantam Aditya Varnang Shuklang Tamasha Parastuta. He said that we are the children of Amrita. And another very important point, I'm very proud of my Indianness because I give you a small example. As a student of literature, you must be keenly knowing that in 1066, the Norman conquest happened. Before 1066, our Great Britain, supposedly who showed us the lives of civilization, were broken into three tribes: barbaric tribes, semi-barbaric, nomadic tribes, Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. And believe me, long back, our rishis and our great philosophers, they wrote great books on astronomy, on science, on everything. And before the barbarians came and destroyed our civilization. So it's a time, we should look back to our own culture and see what happens with quizzing, because I've been quizzing for the last 32 years. The kind of compliment I got from my students is that they said, sir, because of your quizzing, we could very easily, do very well in general knowledge and get into competitive exams. So apart from, what happens because of quizzing, you start, studying different kind of things together. You start history, geography, science, polity, and everything. So in the process, you gain a far-reaching and wider perspective. And also you start taking interest in a lot of things, starting from music. Because I remember there's a very famous song, I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away, that the Harry Belafonte Jamaica Farewell song. Or if you look into even distant past, somebody, all those having those baritone voice and the Negro, sorry, I'm using the wrong term, the black singers who inspires you. because you are going to the quiz, you don't know, you can get these Western questions, you can get Eastern question. So a personality automatically develops. And thirdly, and most importantly, you garner a lifelong friendship. For example, me and Rumida, for 30 years, he's with me. Uh, Tomorrow also we are having a big quiz. So up to today, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. So the journey continues.
Fantastic, Rajiv. And I really envy you because, the way you kind of recite the Sanskrit mantras, I really can't do. I also do some occasional anchoring, but, like the Sanskrit really comes out of your mouth so eloquently. And you have mastered many languages also, as I gather. Now, you tell us, many of your fans are watching it today, and they would be watching the YouTube version also. If we ask you, what will be your 5 tips to become a very efficient and a very smart quizzer? 5 tips from Rajib Sanyal on becoming a perfect quizzer.
See, I'll tell you one thing. First of all, with all humility and humbleness, I'm still a student of the trade, so I'm not qualified to give tips, but I can share my experience, which I personally feel is really very important. First of all, reading maketh a man, said Francis Bacon. So, reading is something very important. And if you are a quizzer, the understanding and learning about quizzing is you read anything and everything under the sun. Number two, power of observation. Suppose you are going through the streets and you all of a sudden see a billboard with a caption, banda ye bindas hai, ye question ho sakta hai. So this is number two. Number three, this is you might find it's something strange, but as I said, Iswara Paramakrishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So it's all about whatever happens to you. In fact, I probably not digressing. Somebody told me if life throws muck at you, you throw a lotus at them. As because so whatever happens to your life, whatever your situations are, knowledge is something which is incredible. And because of this knowledge thing, you always remain happy. So happiness is the key. And I personally feel sometimes it's a negative statement. There is a lot of hatred, ego mongering in recent quizzing circles, because there's a lot of cash and all these things involved. I don't belong to that school, and they are all great quizzers, and I'm a humble learner. So my suggestion is knowledge. And I think my brother, Dr. Mosam Majumdar, who I admire a lot, he will be joining soon. He is also an icon and an institution. So Mosam is doing a great job by this social work, binding people together. So happiness is the key. That is 3. Number 4, it has been said when we are studying English literature, it had been once said that what is romanticism? Romanticism is renaissance of wonder. Like a child, you stay wonderstruck because in the process you become a good quizzer, a beautiful quiz master, and also you remain absolutely happy, blissed out like a child. And finally, which I personally feel, you can learn from a little child also, because see, I belong to the old school, but I have already conducted more than 22, 23 online quizzes with audio visuals. And Dokhin Dinajpur District Quiz Association, Shourov and all these people, they literally taught me. So humility is the key, and humility is the key for everything. Sorry, I hope I'm not sounding sermonizing. And finally, they are not my fans. They are my friends and thank you for watching.
Whenever we talk about Rajiv, we always talk about a very modest and a person filled up with humility. So his, message, what I could summarize is love everyone, keep on learning, and be always happy, and have a holistic and be humble, right? So Mr. Be humble. That's fantastic. Rajiv, you all also have been doing a lot of television work. You were, I remember when I first met you, you had told me that when you travel in local train or the metro, people kind of always see and say, oh, Rajib Sanyal, that Rajib Sanyal. So that gives you a different kind of a feeling. Can you just share one small memory of your television days?
First of all, for me, there was a very famous physicist, Richard Feynman. You don't know what is the name of his biography? Surely you are joking, Dr. Feynman. So my experience, I'll tell you one thing. যারা দেখছেন কিছু মনে করবেন না, একবার মেট্রো করে যাচ্ছেন, এখন তো দূরদর্শনের প্রোগ্রামটা বন্ধ হয়েছে, কেউ চিনতে পারে না, not no many people know me, but at that time I was doing programs, so almost a lot of people used to watch Doordarshan. And when I was going by this metro, so I met a colleague, a friend of my office. I was going to my office. He's a very close friend. And I'll tell you something, I come from Ariyadoho, Dokhineshwar. So there are a lot of techs where you used to give adda and all these things. Amra adda martam. And obviously in a tech, in an adda situation, you always don't use parliamentary words. A lot of unparliamentary words are being used. So when I met my friend, so in low tone, we are discussing things which I don't want to discuss here. So we had a lot of fun and joy. So when I was getting down, an elderly person came to me and whispered into my ears, আপনার প্রোগ্রামটা আমরা দেখি, খুব ভালো লাগে. So that was an experience.
That's wonderful.
So and I felt so ashamed. And in the Doordarshan studio, many things happened. Dilip Da was one of the chief cameramen. When I first conducted my show, he was there. So Dilip Da used to scold me a lot. And when I used to go and the camera was on and all these things, prior to that, we had a lot of fun. Dilip Da, aajke oshud khawa hoyeche to, and I'm not explaining what is oshud. So for me, quizzing, Doordarshan, and Mr. Ganguli, you must be knowing the strugglers table, UDP we share. So correct. Same thing, it's not different. Be what you are.
Fantastic. Like I remember that when you used to come from your Doordarshan shoots, you used to tell me that, like every day you were learning, and that's your spirit. So before we get into the next question, Sharmishtha, can we, show some wow factors or wow visuals of Rajib's, different energetic moments? Let us share that with the viewers.
Sure.
I am the answer. I don't like options. I am curious. And I am intense. I play to win. I am not you. And I am not everyone.
My life revolves around quizzing.
Rajib Sanyal, the numero uno in the quizzing world.
Believe in yourself. Never give up.
More than 2,500 quizzes, total quizzing solutions.
And I believe in one-to-one connect.
Rajib's versatile quizzing repertoire. The spiritual world, heritage and humanity, national fervor and patriotism, health and fitness, ecology and environment, sports and games, current and consumer affairs, aviation, travel and tourism, business, trade and commerce, matters of the heart, quizzes that share and care.
So, I'll meet you at the hot seat.
Welcome back.
A very fond memories when Mr. Ganguli, a very famous filmmaker, a very good friend of mine, and I remember a lot of projects we worked on. We worked on a project on a documentary on my mom. So it was, every morning going and meeting. Anyway, I'm sorry, it became very nostalgic.
32 years of quizzing experience, traveling all over the country. I remember that, as Rajib mentioned, the UDP's strugglers table, he used to come, very, very tired from the night flight. He's just come. In the afternoon flight, he was again going to another city. And he said after doing quizzing, he'll again catch a night flight back to come to Kolkata. This was his life. Fantastic. Just tell us, Rajib, one anecdote or one small experience from one of your, beyond Kolkata quizzes. Somewhere you've gone to all the top
Yeah.
cities of India. So maybe one small memory.
One question came. So will I address to that question or a small memory first? Ira Mondol ma'am asked a question. Radio quiz. How can we do a radio quiz? Will I answer that or let me answer?
No, Mr. Sanyal, the questions we will be taking the questions towards the end of the show.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing. There are a lot of memories, and Rumida and I just remember I had gone to Vatinda to conduct a quiz for an organization, big organization, and then I had a morning flight. After that, it was a very hectic day. So next morning flight, I had to go to Varanasi for a departmental quiz for this was Prabashi Bharatiya, something like that. Now Vatinda, I had to, so we decided to take a cab and then go a whole night journey. Now what happened? The person, the boy who was supposed to take me was hardly 18 or 19 years old, and he was frail. So it was very discouraging. I sat beside him. I was very tired. I made a previous night journey, did the show. Rumida was at the back, and we are making a journey through the roads. You won't believe. It was dark. It was dingy and incredible. And the boy was almost dozing off to sleep. So we had to crack jokes and make stories. So it was and almost I just fell asleep at a point of time, and then I jumped almost with a jerk, and the boy has almost lost control. So we could have lost our lives that the day.
Oh.
Yeah. So there are a lot of stories which is spine chilling stories. And another small story I like to share. আমি জানি না আপনারা ভূতে বিশ্বাস করেন কিনা, আমিও ঠিক বিশ্বাস করি না, but it was in Patna long back. I want to go up a philately quiz, so they asked us to stay at the Patna GPO building. So in the GPO building, when I was there, I was on so in the morning when I came, so I and Rumida, so it was a kind of cot, giant cot. So we are preparing the questions. Then we found strange sounds, bangles. We found that somebody utensils were falling. So I said, Rumida, ye kya ho raha hai? Rumida said, we said that theek hai, probably some lady was there in the next room or something was happening. In the morning when I came down, there was a pan shop. At that time, I had a bad habit of taking Jarda pan. I'm sorry. I'm confessing on camera. So there was a tea shop just outside the Patna, GPO. तो उन्होंने पूछा आप वहीं पे थे? हाँ वहाँ पे वही रूम में. हाँ क्या है? नहीं कुछ नहीं. So it was a kind of eerie feeling, and those people looked at us very suspiciously. And so these are plenty of money. I can speak for 7-8 hours.
I can understand. We will have to do a separate takes and talks on Rajib's, destination experiences. Rajib, another very important question which always haunts me. You are a fantastic time manager. You are a busy income tax professional. You hold a very important position there. With that, you are a motivational speaker. You teach. You're a mentor in many management institutes, and obviously a national quizzer. How do you make this magic happen? How are you omnipresent at every time? How do you manage your time?
See, I'll tell you one thing, sir. As you have asked me this question, first of all, for me, the answer is, I don't manage anything. I'm a big time mess, I don't plan. So I'm never frightened. Number one, whatever comes, I jump into it, and somehow it happens. It's God's grace. As far as Department of Income Tax is concerned, well, my colleagues, my officers have been very, very kind. And so most of the time my postings were, I was treated with a lot of lenience. My officers, my colleagues, they all loved me, they supported me. And obviously my department had their own programs like the IITF Delhi. So every year for the last 10 years, this year it's not happening, I used to go and serve my department. And secondly, as for the motivations, the speaker is concerned, for me, banda ye bindas hai. And as you know, when Sharmishtha was asking me, and sir, I will send you the questions. I said, don't send me the questions, because if you give me the script, I'm gone. So I'm an out of script person. That is why I have not been that successful, which other big time quiz masters have been. And finally, another very important point is, do I have 30 seconds to say a small story?
Oh, yeah, sure,
Time है क्या?
हाँ,
See,
बोलिए.
there was one, बताते हैं, एक कहावत है, एक कहानी है. There's a story. In some Vienna or some place, there was a barber. So the barber, when people had boils and all these things, all the people from that state used to go to the barber. He used to operate upon, and but it's okay. So one physician and doctor find out this barber is very efficient. तो उन्होंने उसको बुला लिया और उसको सिखाया कि यहाँ पे यही नर्व्स है. थैंक यू प्रियंको. यहाँ पे यही नर्व है, यहाँ पे so these are the channels and all these things. So 1 year coaching under the doctor. So after the barber was coached, one person came and said, I have a boil here. So he said that all the cranial nerves pass through this point. If I cut it, he will die. So हमसे नहीं होगा. So my answer is, I'm in that barber stage, you know. So whatever happens, happens. नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? That is why I don't plan anything and everything happens.
So it is a bindas barber we have in the form of Rajib Sanyal, the national quiz master. Rajib, through the years, the style of quizzing also has changed. Now we don't call it quizzing only, we call it infotainment. It's information and entertainment punched together. So how have you adapted to this style, and what is the information quotient in your presentation and the entertainment quotient? How do you kind of collaborate and combine the power of both?
See, my point is, once again, a very candid confession. There are big time quizzers who remember a lot of things. They sit in the quizzes, they are brilliant. But memory has not been my strong points. And anyway, I'm a lazy person, and also a person who cannot take too much of pressure. So I always have a heated discussion with Rumida while framing questions. I love more and more audiovisual questions, and I find I don't cater to the quizzers actually. Quizzing is such an art; it's like a movie viewing experience. So even who is not interested in quizzing, they will watch a show. So there will be mix of entertainment, information, knowledge, and there will be a free flow of happiness. So when I have learned how to download these MP4 videos, insert into them, and now I'm doing this online audiovisual shows. So handling StreamYard and handling Zoom, and in the Zoom, how you can insert sound and also multitask, use 2 or 3 devices together. It is happening, and I believe it is all because of the grace. And as you asked me in the beginning, how can I use the Sanskrit language? I owe this to Surya Sadhak Sri Vishwanarayan. So he taught me these Sanskrit mantras, and that grace and your love from people, affection, and all these things, things happen. I don't make it happen. There is something divine, something which, always guides me, and I'm very grateful.
That is
Yes,
what
sir.
Rajib Sanyal is, like a very attitude, and a man who's very, very humble and filled with humility. And like Rajib, he never follows a script. We have our script, but he has already given the answers to my next 2 questions. But anyway, we have saved time. So he has been a uncaring kind of a person who's managed time very effortlessly, very bindasly. Fantastic, Rajib. From my part, the last question is, I have understood that you are bindas, but you are also very deep. You are spiritually motivated. You're a man who thinks about the society, who feels about the burning issues of our society, who is always ready to lend a hand to whoever is in need. Your quizzes, you have been quizzing on a lot of social, environmental, health, and different issues which are the problem areas of our society. So, what is exactly your mission statement to reach out to, make open up minds, open doors, and to ignite that feeling of doing something or giving something back to the society? What does Rajib Sanyal say to this?
See, perception has changed, metamorphosis has happened. If you ask me right now, I'll say it from a different perspective. Dr. Mausa Majumdar is there. We will be coming in shortly. I had been an opportunity to go to a remote village. One of my friends, he has opened up an institution. He was working for CISF. He worked for 8 years. Then he quit the steady job. He became a sannyasi and Ramakrishna mission. He was there in Mayabati, and then he went to a village. Sorry, and he set up a village, a school. 60-70 students come. He feeds them, teaches them. I had an opportunity to go to that place, and for 3 days I conducted classes for them. স্বামীজি বলেছিলেন লণ্ঠন হাতে গ্রামে চলে যাও. It is very important that whoever we can, whatever we have learned, we can go back to the society and teach and share our experience. Now, as far as quizzing is concerned, you see, I had the opportunity to, very humbly travel from one corner of the country to the others, and also in the remote villages. And there I found a lot of people have been influenced. And so right now, my mission statement, if you ask me, is to, become, go deep, understand who I am. Everybody is born with a mission. And I'm trying to discover my mission and share my experience, and even go to the remotest corner and share my experience with the children. I give a small example how quizzing thing, so I was invited to, I went and conducted classes with students coming of class 2, 3, 4, 5, coming from a very backward backdrop, who has not heard even the name of Shahrukh Khan. I'm telling you very honestly. So when I began, I started teaching them, they were not responding. Then how I started, I'll tell you. I said there was a small boy called Vishnu. So I held him up and said, ধরে নাও যে আমাকে বিষ্ণুর বাবা বিষ্ণুর বিয়েতে নেমন্তন্ন করেছে। তো Vishnu, and everybody started smiling. The first dish that Vishnu's father gave me, sugar. They gave me sugar. And I took the sugar, and it was very hot. ঝাল লাগলো. Somebody said, "Are sugar ki ঝাল লাগে নাকি? মিষ্টি লাগে তো." So I asked the boy, মিষ্টি লাগে কেন? Why? Then I said that one of my teachers, this is Khaibar Giripot, and sugar, there is salivary amylase or ptyalin that breaks it into sucrose and glucose, and that is absorbed. That is why it's tastes sweet. And I spoke with them, I danced with them, I sang with them, and I felt so happy. So right now my mission is to look back into myself, my family who has supported me like anything, but I couldn't give them much time. It's a regret. And also now I'm trying to do some little bit of sadhana. And yeah. What tips do you have for the budding and aspiring quizzes? Sure. So it's just
You're
like
coming to that. Yeah, don't worry. Fantastic, Rajib. Like we have had the fortune of working with Rajib on numerous different social platforms. One of them is Open the Door, which is to kind of give a platform to those who are, mentally suffering. Rajib has conducted our mental health quiz for quite a few years, and we have seen the energy, the inspiration, and the hope which he, infects us with. And he's a fantastic, he has a connect with the audience. He gets into the audience, pulls them, and it's like a, hypnotic charm which he exudes everywhere. And you get hypnotized at the end. It was, everyone comes out saying it was a Rajib Sanyal show. We have a very eminent...
I'm sorry. It's the other way around. I get hypnotized and mesmerized by your presence. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, Thank you. We have a very eminent quizzer from Midnapur. He's the father of
Yes,
quizzing in Midnapur, Dr.
he's
Mausam.
waiting backstage. Let me welcome him.
Yeah, please
And,
welcome him, Sharmishtha.
yeah,
Yeah,
and,
sure.
a few words about Dr. Mausam Majumdar before I actually welcome him. He is a teacher. He has joined us from Tamluk, Midnapur, West Bengal, and he is a teacher by profession. And he himself is a quiz master and an eminent motivational speaker. And the main thing is that he's closely associated with Mr. Rajib Sanyal. And as the founder figure of Mednipur Quiz Kendra, he had the opportunity to invite Mr. Sanyal to the quiz carnival a number of times. So he is backstage. Let's welcome Dr. Mausam Majumdar. Hello, Dr. Mausam Majumdar. Welcome to Takes and Talk. You please unmute the microphone.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Welcome, welcome.
yeah. So we are almost done with our in-panel questions. Now, before I start taking questions from the audience, I would request Dr. Mausam Majumdar to please ask the last question. Last in-panel question.
First of all, I would like to say that thanks to Abhishek da, after a long time, about 2 to 3 years,
Yeah,
and
and it
also
had to
thanks to
happen
lockdown.
virtually.
Yeah, but whatever it is, that is that the positiveness of lockdown. Okay, so always we think about the negativity of anything. So this is the positive side of the lockdown. So without lockdown,
Correct.
we can't meet virtually, even virtually. But this is a meeting of a very good personalities also. So Rajib da, my pronouns to you actually.
না
Thank.
না না এটা আমার অত্যন্ত ইটস আ প্রিভিলেজ। আমার ভীষণ আমার মৌসুম আমার খুব গর্বের, এবং মৌসুমকে একটু বলি, আমি একটু দুটো কথা বলি, বিকজ মৌসুম ইজ অ্যান ইন্সপিরেশন, এবং মৌসুম had been working on social welfare front. He is a par excellent quizzer and quiz master. He is not only a quiz master, he is a king maker too. He has made many quiz masters, and I had got an opportunity. এরকম অনেকগুলো আছে, আমি একটা দেখাচ্ছি। তো বহুবার গেছি মৌসুমের বাড়িতে, আমার ফ্যামিলি নিয়ে, আমার মিসেস, আমার মেয়ে, মৌসুমের বাড়িতে খাওয়া দাওয়া করেছি, অনেকবার গেছি, এবং মৌসুমের সঙ্গে একটা অদ্ভুত ধরনের দাদা ভাইয়ের সম্পর্ক। মৌসুম একজন বিখ্যাত লেখক, ওর অনেক বই আছে, ও গার্ডেনিং অনেক কিছু করে আর কি। তো আজকে এই শোতে মৌসুম আসাতে আমি খুব ভালো লাগছে। থ্যাংক ইউ মৌসুম, বলো।
রাজীব দা, আসলে ওই তোমার ওই একটাই কথা আর কি, অভিষেক দার মতোই আমি বলবো, সেটা হচ্ছে যে বান্দায়ে বিন্দাস, অর্থাৎ নিজেকে ভালো রাখাটাই হচ্ছে জীবন। সো আই থিঙ্ক সো অ্যাকচুয়ালি। তো কে কি ভাবলো, কে কি বা বুঝলো, সেটা দ্যাট ডাজন্ট ম্যাটার টু মি অ্যাকচুয়ালি। সো আই থিঙ্ক হোয়াট এভার আই হ্যাভ ডান, দিস ইজ ফর মি অ্যাকচুয়ালি। যদি স্বার্থপরও হই তাও ঠিক আছে, বাট এটাই হচ্ছে আসল। তো আমার একটা কোয়েশ্চেন আছে দাদা তোমার কাছে। So what is your mantra to face the COVIDian's life question? So this is the pandemic situation, and I don't know if you have remembered or not that last year we shared the same platform, that is Carnival, Quiz Carnival Munch.
Yes.
So this
So
year
many
also, and even today we just sharing the same platform, but this is virtually. So this is called coincidence actually. So my question, again, I just repeat your mantra to face the COVIDian's life questions, actually. So I just want to heard eagerly. So, and after my question, so you just sang the song of Surya Mantra. So please, that is very enchanting me actually. So please.
Okay. I'll tell you one thing. I think we already had a lot of discussion internally during the COVID period. Mausam had come out triumphant. He was infected with COVID initially, and then he came out stronger than before. So mantra is very simple. Look inside, deep inside yourself, transform yourself. And what I tried to do is, for example, in the COVID period, I thought, let me clean my house. So I started, every morning washing and cleaning my house. I started developing a knack for cooking. So My wife, who is a wonderful cook, she cooks very well, but she said আমাকে এখানে ডিস্টার্ব করবে না, so I came to the left with my apparatus, and then I also developed into a cook. Thirdly, I started interacting. Most importantly, it is you that is very important, and to be you, there are mechanisms. And as India is a spiritual country, I'm not talking about religious country, it's a spiritual country, so it is something very, very important. Purnamadang purnamidang purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vashishyate. So, and finally, so simple word, look into you to gain serenity, transform yourself by becoming humble. That is a very important mantra, and enjoy this moment. This moment is inevitable. Living in today, living now, and praying to the Lord, grant me to the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That is the mantra. And Mausam had asked for a Surya mantra. Do I have 30 seconds?
I think, Rajiv, the Surya mantra you do at the end, it will be very inspiring. We will be left with that resonance. I think we already have a few questions. You finish the questions, we end with the Surya mantra. That will be a fantastic finale. Sharmishtha, the questions.
Yeah. Let's go for the question. The first question I would like to take from Ilora Mandal. That's in Bengali. Mr. Sanyal, can you read it on screen?
আমি রেডিওতে কাজ করি, আমার একটা কোয়েশ্চেন, আজকে অডিও মাধ্যমে কিভাবে কুইজ প্রোগ্রামগুলো কে জনপ্রিয় ও ইন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভ করা যায়? অ্যাবসলিউটলি করা যায়, অ্যাবসলিউটলি করা যায়। এবং সত্যি কথা বলতে কি, যারা রেডিওতে কাজ করেন, আমার অনেক বন্ধুরা রয়েছেন, তাদের প্রতি আমার প্রচন্ড শ্রদ্ধা রয়েছে, কারণ ভিজুয়াল মিডিয়ামে মানুষকে দেখা যায়, কিন্তু শব্দকল্প বলে একটা কথা আছে, ইমেজারি আছে। যেমন আমার একটা অন্য প্রসঙ্গে বলি, there is a music that softer falls than petals from blown out roses, লর্ড টেনিসন। এবং ছন্দের জাদুকর বলা হতো ছিপখান তিনদার তিনজন মাল্লা চৌপর দিনভর দেয় দূর পাল্লা। তো বিষয়টা হচ্ছে, কুইজটাকেও যদি আমরা কিছুটা গান, কিছুটা ইন্টারাকশন, কিছুটা মিউজিক, কিছুটা প্রশ্ন, এবং সেটাকে ইন্টারেস্টিং করতে হবে, যদি করা যায়, তাহলে এমনিতেই তো যারা মানে যাদের কণ্ঠ দিয়ে আমরা রেডিওকে শুনতে পাই, তাদের কণ্ঠ তো এমনি জাদু রয়েছে, তাদের এমন বাচন ভঙ্গি, তাদের চয়েস অফ ওয়ার্ডস, যেগুলো আমরা মানে সত্যি কথা বলতে কি, আমি যখন শো করতে যাই, কথা আটকে গেলে একটু ইংলিশ একটু হিন্দি ঢুকিয়ে গুলগাপ্পি মেরে ম্যানেজ করে দিলাম। আপনি বললেন আহা আহা কি বলছে, সেটা রেডিওতে করা যায় না, রেডিওতে ওই ব্যাপারটা দরকার। তো সেই জন্যে অবশ্যই করা যায়। আমরা, কারণ আমার এক বন্ধু কৃষ্ণেন্দু বণিক, ইজ এ কমন ফ্রেন্ড অফ অভিষেক গাঙ্গুলি অলসো, কেবি ইউজ টু কন্ডাক্ট আ রেডিও কুইজ, and I also got an opportunity once, but somehow it didn't materialize. যদি আমাকে ডাকা হয়, করবো, আমরা একসঙ্গে করতে পারি, কোনো সমস্যা নেই। I can become a research team also, so it's fine, you can do it, no problem.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you Ilora for your question. এই প্রসঙ্গে আমি একটা প্রশ্ন জিজ্ঞাসা করতে চাইছি। আমাকে একজন প্রশ্ন পাঠিয়েছেন, উনি সিস্টেমে ঢুকতে পারেননি। এই রেডিও মাধ্যম যেহেতু, যে মাধ্যমে দেখা যায় না, সো আই হ্যাড এ অপরচুনিটি টু ওয়ার্ক উইথ সাম সাইটলেস পিপল ফর আ কনসিডারেবল অ্যামাউন্ট অফ টাইম। তো ওদেরও যেরকম ধরুন যারা সাইটলেস মানুষ রয়েছেন, তাদের যে স্কুল বা তাদের শিক্ষা প্রতিষ্ঠানে আর কি, ওখানেও কুইজিংটাকে কি করে আরো মনোগ্রাহী, আরো ইন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভ এন্ড ইন্টারেস্টিং করা যায়? প্লিজ থ্রো সাম লাইট অন দ্যাট।
দেখুন, আমার একটা বক্তব্য হচ্ছে, অভিষেক বাবু জানেন, অভিষেক বাবু আমার সঙ্গে আমার অনেকগুলো কুইজের, কিন্তু কুইজ তো নয়, খুব আমার প্রাণের বন্ধু হন উনি, এবং আমাদের অনেক ক্রিয়েটিভ ডিসকাশনস হয়। দেখুন, থ্যাংক ইউ এলোরা ম্যাম। প্রথম কথা হচ্ছে, কুইজে খুব এক পাতা, আচ্ছা আমি কিন্তু কাউকে হার্ট করছি না, মার্জনা করবেন যারা শুনছেন। দেখুন, কুইজিং একটা আর্ট, কুইজিং একটা কমিউনিটি, সেখানে না অনেক বড় বড় কঠিন কঠিন কোয়েশ্চেন না করলে যাতে ওঠে না। তো সেই জন্য আমি ওই কমিউনিটি থেকে ব্রাত্য, আমি, ওরা অনেক ইন্টেলিজেন্ট, আমি ঠিক পারি না ওদের সঙ্গে। আমার হচ্ছে কমন মানুষের জন্য, অর্থাৎ হিন্দি সিনেমা দেখানো হবে, একটু কোমর টুইস্ট দেখানো হবে, একটা অসাধারণ ওয়াইল্ড লাইফ ক্লিপ দেখানো হবে, একটা রাত্রে তারার আকাশ দেখানো হবে, আর মনে করো আকাশে আছে এক ধ্রুব নক্ষত্র, নদীর ধারায় আছে গতির নির্দেশ, অরণ্যের মর্মর ধ্বনিতে আছে আন্দোলনের ভাষা, আর আছে পৃথিবীর চিরকালের আবর্তন।
সুকান্ত।
Make me thy lyre, make me thy lyre even if thy forest is shedding thy lips like thy own. অর্থাৎ যাতে যে যে রিলেট করে সেই রকম কবিতা, সেরকম গান, সেরকম ছবি দিয়ে একটা ছবি আঁকতে হবে। কুইজ একটা জীবন্ত, ইটস অ্যান অ্যানিমেটেড থিং, এটা একটা মৃত জিনিস নয়। অ্যান্ড ইট ইজ আ প্রজেকশন, আমি এটা ফিল করি, ইটস আ প্রজেকশন অফ মাই পার্সোনা, অফ মাই আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং, মাই লাইকিং, which fortunately enough people have blessed me, people like it. তো সুতরাং যদি এই ধরনের জিনিস, আপনি যদি একটা বিখ্যাত কোনো ভানু বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়ের কোনো একটা ক্লিপ শোনান, তো লোকে তো এমনি হাসবে। ৭৭ সিনেমা যদি আপনি ক্লিপ শোনান, মাসিবা মালপু খামু কোন সিনেমার বলা হচ্ছে, তা লোকে তো এমনি আনন্দ পাবে। এবং আমার কথা হচ্ছে কুইজটা না একদম ৮০ বছরের বৃদ্ধা থেকে শুরু করে ৩ বছরের বাচ্চা সবাইকে এক করে, কুইজ একটা ধর্ম, রিলিজিয়ান, মানে হিন্দুইজম, ক্রিশ্চিয়ানিটি, ইসলাম, এত রকম রিলিজিয়ান আছে। আমরা বলি কুইজের একটা রিলিজিয়ান আছে, যে রিলিজিয়ান আমাদের সবাইকে একসঙ্গে বাইন্ডিং করে।
তো আপনি বলছেন দৃষ্টিহীন যারা, মানে যারা রয়েছেন সাইটলেস সেকশন অফ দ্য সোসাইটি, যারা পড়াশোনা করছেন, তাদের জন্য বিভিন্ন ভাবে ছবিটা আঁকতে হবে সো দ্যাট ইট মানে ইট ইন্টারেস্টস দেম, রাইট? আমি
একটা কথা বলি, যারা ভিজুয়ালি ইম্পেয়ার্ড,
দৃষ্টিহীন, সাইটলেস যারা রয়েছেন,
সাইটলেস রয়েছে, তাদের অন্য ফ্যাকাল্টিস গুলো এত শার্প, সুতরাং তারা কিন্তু আপনার থেকে মনে করবেন না বা আমার থেকে অনেক বেশি মেধা সম্পন্ন হয়। এবং তাদেরকে যদি আপনি কোনো ভিজুয়াল মানে অডিও মিডিয়ামের কিছু শোনান, কোয়েশ্চেন করেন, অসাধারণ উত্তর দেবে, অসাধারণ।
মানে অডিও মাধ্যমটাকে আরো ভালো করে কাজে লাগাতে হবে আর কি,
ভালো করে কাজে লাগাতে হবে নিশ্চয়ই। এবং আপনাকে বলা রইলো, যদি আমার কোনো অপরচুনিটি আসে, আই ক্যান ডেফিনেটলি গো অ্যান্ড ডু মাই সেবা, পারফর্ম সেবা।
ওকে, আই এম শিওর আমাদের যারা মানে সাইটলেস ভিউয়ার্স রয়েছেন বা যারা ওদের জন্য কাজ করছেন, তারা নিশ্চয়ই শোটা দেখছেন। সো নিশ্চয়ই যোগাযোগ করবেন, আমাদের এরকম কোনো ইয়ে থাকলে আমরা ফিউচারে দেখতেই পারি। সো নাও মুভিং অন টু দ্য নেক্সট কোয়েশ্চেন।
হ্যাঁ,
মুভিং অন টু দ্য নেক্সট কোয়েশ্চেন। দুটো কোয়েশ্চেন একই রকম রয়েছে, আমার মনে হয় এটা উত্তরটা অনেকটাই হবে। আমি একটু স্ক্রিনে দেখাচ্ছি। একটা করছেন সুস্মিতা চক্রবর্তী, আপনার হাউ ক্যান স্টুডেন্টস পারসিউ টু বিকাম আ মাস্টার টুডে, এবং আরেকটা একই রকম কোয়েশ্চেন, এটা করছেন সবিতা চক্রবর্তী, উনি করছেন হোয়াট টিপস ডু ইউ হ্যাভ ফর দ্য বাডিং এন্ড অ্যাসপায়ারিং কুইজার্স। অনেকটা কাছাকাছি কোয়েশ্চেন আই ফিল, সো আই মিন আই রিকোয়েস্ট ইউ টু।
দেখুন, আমি একটা কথা বলি, এখন তো ব্যাপারটা সহজ হয়ে গেছে, আমাদের সময় ছিল না। আমরা যখন একটা কুইজ হতো, মানে আমি এক্সপিরিয়েন্সটা বলি, ঘরের মাঝখানে বসে আছি, কাউকে ঢোকা অ্যালাউ ছিল না, ঝগড়াঝাটি লেগে যেত, চারিদিকে ছড়ানো কাগজ, রদ্দিওয়ালার কাছ থেকে পুরনো ম্যাগাজিনস, আমি মাঝখানে বসে আছি, কাঁচি দিয়ে কাটছি, লিখছি, সেটা মানে একটা দক্ষ যজ্ঞ, মানে সে যে কি অসাধারণ এক্সপিরিয়েন্স বলে বোঝাতে পারবো না। অ্যান্ড উই ইউজ টু মেক নোটস। এই প্রসঙ্গে আমি একটু বলি, এখন তো আপনি ডিজিটাল নোটস নিতেই পারেন, আপনি একটা এটা ডিজিটাল ফরম্যাট, বাট আমি বিশ্বাস করি যে ভালো কুইজার্ড হতে গেলে বা ভালো কুইজ মাস্টার হতে গেলে দুটো জিনিস খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। একটা হচ্ছে যে যা পাবেন তাই পড়বেন। রাস্তা দিয়ে যাচ্ছেন, মুড়ি খাচ্ছেন, মুড়ির ঠোঙার পেছন দিকে দেখলেন যে একটা বিএইচএনএস এর লোগো লাগানো আছে, হ্যাঁ, গ্রেট হর্নবিল রয়েছে, দেখলেন, বাহ, সঙ্গে সঙ্গে নোট করে নিলেন। আমি এখন যেটা করি, এটা আগে ছিল না, ক্যামেরায় ছবি তুলেন আমার ফোনের ক্যামেরায়, এবং তার উপর বাড়িতে এসে একটু পড়লাম, এবং যেটা মনে হলো একটু পড়লাম। মানে এটা সুবিধে হচ্ছে, ধরুন আমার এক ছাত্র বলবো না, ছাত্রের মতোই, তো ওর সম্বন্ধে একটা স্টোরি করা যায়। সে এখন গ্রাফিন টেকনোলজি নিয়ে এমটেক করছে, একটা প্রত্যন্ত গ্রামের ছেলে, গ্রাফিন টেকনোলজি নিয়ে এমটেক করছে। তো ওর সঙ্গে আলোচনা হচ্ছিল। এবার কথা প্রসঙ্গে পলিজ এক্সক্লুসিভ প্রিন্সিপাল, হাইসেনবার্গের আনসার্টেনটি প্রিন্সিপাল, ওয়েব পার্টিকেল ডুয়ালিটি, এইসব পড়তে পড়তে না, আলোচনা করতে করতে কোথায় যেন ভেসে গেলাম। কুইজিং হচ্ছে এমন একটা জিনিস, আপনার যেটা পড়তে ভালো লাগবে সেটা পড়বেন, বেস্ট করবেন, আপনাকে আটকাতে কেউ পারবে না। সো দ্যাট ইজ হাউ ইউ স্লোলি স্টার্ট এক্সপ্যান্ডিং। মানে একটা কিছু পড়তে পড়তে আপনি এক্সট্রাপোলেট করে অন্য কিছুতে চলে গেলেন। বেশি বলছি না তো, মানে সরি, মানে টাইম আছে তো? sorry, so this is, it's a joy, it's pure joy of learning. পরীক্ষা দিতে হবে না, কেউ বকবে না, কিন্তু সত্যি একটা অসাধারণ আনন্দ ঘন একটা জায়গা। And another point, sorry, কুইজ মাস্টার হতে গেলে দু তিনটে জিনিসের খেয়াল করতে হবে। First of all, you will be on stage, so you need to look good. You need to do exercises. Number one, you need to take proper food, and also voice training করতে হবে। সেটা সবচেয়ে ভালো হয় কিছু কবিতা মুখস্থ করে সব সময় নিজেদের মধ্যে আওড়ানো। There was a time when meadow, grove and stream, the earth and every common sight to me did seem apparelled in celestial light. আর তার জন্য প্রচুর শুনতে হবে, মানে নাটজিও খুলে কিভাবে বলছে, যারা খুব বড় কুইজ মাস্টার্স রয়েছেন, বড় অ্যাঙ্কার্স রয়েছেন, তারা কিভাবে বলছেন সেটা খুব মনোযোগ দিয়ে শুনে তাদেরকে চুপি চুপি কপি করে আয়নার সামনে দাঁড়িয়ে চোখের দিকে চোখ রেখে বলাটা প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে। তাহলে কি হবে, অনেক লোকের সামনে গিয়ে বললে you will not have butterflies in your stomach.
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। আমরা আরেকটা কোয়েশ্চেন নিয়ে নেব, এটা সম্ভবত প্রবাবলি ইজ দ্য লাস্ট কোয়েশ্চেন অফ টুডেজ এপিসোড। এটা এগেইন আবার সুস্মিতা চক্রবর্তী করছেন। ওনার প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে গিয়ে, her question is how rewarding is quizzing as a profession? Please throw some light on that.
Very good question. মানে দেখুন, এটা দুটো হয়, মানে how rewarding, this is a kind of reward, I'll come to that, but more than that I'll tell you one thing. ভারতবর্ষের এমন বহু শহর আছে যেখানে যদি কেউ যায়, যদি আমি একটু বলে দিই যে भैया मैंने किसको भेज रहा हूं, ओ राजीव जी, अरे भैया आप भेजें, they are big shots, very big shots, and I'm nothing to in comparison to them. Tremendous love, affection, you know, you come and, for example, quizzing is rewarding because that is why Mr. Ganguli called me today, otherwise he wouldn't have called me, and I'm connecting with you. আর অর্থনৈতিক ভাবে যদি বলেন, it's a possibility. It's not that it will happen overnight, but you have to develop your skill, you have to cast your charm, your skill, and obviously it's rewarding. There are a lot of big time quiz masters who have earned in millions, but unfortunately I couldn't earn that much, so I cannot throw that much light. But it's not that I haven't earned, it's okay, but it's highly rewarding from different perspective of gaining appreciation, love, and also getting an opportunity to learn a lot of new things from people.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are done with today's question answer rounds from the viewer. আপনার সূর্য মন্ত্রটা একটু শুনতে চাইবো, এটা মিস্টার গাঙ্গুলি বলছিলেন।
আমি একটু বলি, সূর্য সাধক শ্রী বিশ্বনারায়ণ, উনি এই নামে সিদ্ধিপ্রাপ্ত হয়েছেন সূর্যের 21 নাম। Yeah, so this supposedly this 21 names had been given to Shamba, the accursed son of Lord Krishna, who was afflicted with leprosy. And when he went, he had a Chandrabhaga river, he went to Mitraban, and the Lord appeared, Surya Dev appeared, and gave him these 21 names. So I'll try to sing the song. Priyanku is also here. It has been nationally released. It's a very, very powerful mantra. And thank you for reminding me, Mosam. Om Bhurvasha Om Vikartana Vivashvana Martanda Bhaskar Ravi Lok Prakashak Sriman Lok Chakshu Graheshwara Lok Sakshi Trilokesham Karta Harta Tame Swaha Tapana Tapana Shuchi सप्ताश्ववाहनम् गवस्तिहस्तो ब्रह्मा च सर्वदेव नमस्कृत
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
hope যারা যারা শুনেছেন অনেক enriched হয়েছেন. Thank you so much, Mr. Sanyal, for participating, and your presence, your participation has really enriched the show. Thank you, Dr. Majumdar. উনি হয়তো এখন বেরিয়ে গেছেন কিছু টেকনিক্যাল ইস্যুর জন্য। আপনার thank you for your question. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Ganguli, for moderating the show. And I think আমাদের viewers, and thank you so much viewers for your participation, for your reactions, for your comments, for your questions. Thank you for everything. And please remember then that Takes and Talks by Cinema for a Cause is soon going to come up with some more exciting episodes. In every episode, there will be a new guest, new success stories, new questions, and a lot of adda and masti as what we are having today. So, so please stay tuned, and we'll see you soon. Till then, do take a very good care of yourself. Stay safe, stay healthy, and namaskar. A very good night. Bye bye.
Thank you.